Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Are you still listening to half-assed talk radio with a host talking down to a caller? Turn it off and turn on the Great American Broadcast Network. You'll hear the host talking with lots of listeners, the citizen panel, and they become the co-hosts. Turn off half-assed talk and turn on talk radio with more ass than you can handle. All opinions, all ideas, all in one place. The Great American Broadcast Network.
Daddy, Billy's on the computer again looking at the pornography.
No, I ain't. I'm listening to the Great American Broadcast Network, Gabnet.net. I finally found talk radio on the internet where people think like I do.
I like him. He's a nice guy. What he thinks is full of shit, but that doesn't mean he isn't a nice guy.
I love Phil. Phil's a great guy.
But he's full of shit.
Republican.
Patrick, oddly enough, is not as full of shit as Phil. How can I put it? But Patrick, when he has an opinion, it's well-founded. In other words, you may not agree with it, but he's thought it out and he explains it.
Yeah.
You, it's just a headline from Drudge.
It's a convenient place to see what's new.
The Great American Broadcast Network. See what's new at Gabnet.net. Come join the conversation.
Evolution is defined as any process of formation or growth, development, the evolution of a radio program right before your ears. Welcome into The Exchange. It's Rob Alfano, and it's a Wednesday night, a special night, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments. You're going to give us a call on Skype in a little while.
I'm Jim Browning. You're listening to The Exchange. Well, our long national nightmare just may be over. It seems that we are ready to say goodbye to reality television.
Good evening and hello, everybody. Welcome to The Exchange, your safe haven for the free and open exchange of ideas and opinions here on the Great American Broadcast Network every Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 10 Eastern, 6:30 to 7 Western. I'm your host and broker, Damian Chaplin. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, go ahead and give us a call on Skype. I'm opening the lines right now.
The Exchange, one program, ever evolving. Be a part of evolution. Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 p.m., Damian Chaplin moves you in new directions. Call GabNet Live on Skype at 347-352-0079. The Exchange, the evolution. Tuesday through Friday at 9:30 Eastern, only on GabNet. You love GabNet. You love the hosts and the citizen panels. In fact, you wish you could take them wherever you go. On your computer, log on to Gabnet.net, where our stream is available around the clock. On your TV, GabNet is available on Roku with the same around-the-clock stream, plus all the latest episodes of GabNet programs, old favorites, videos, and tons of celebrity interviews. When you're mobile, we're on your iPhone or iPad with podcasts accessible via iTunes or Stitcher, and that same around-the-clock stream on TuneIn. If you don't want GabNet wherever you go, well, the hell with you. Go ahead, listen to your old-fashioned talk shows that do things in the same old predictable way. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be having fun listening to talk like you've never heard it before on GabNet. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is Alex. Wait a minute, let me get my picture here. There we go. Don't I look pretty? Don't I look pretty? Huh? I look pretty. Don't I look pretty? I look pretty. You know who looks prettier? Right over there.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
People
and I have a 3-day weekend.
Well, you have a 3-day weekend?
It's Memorial Day on Monday.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Going anywhere?
What?
Are you going anywhere?
Am I going anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Why should I go? Why should I go anywhere?
I'm just asking. Are you going anywhere?
No. Are you going anywhere?
No.
So why should I be going somewhere without you?
Just thought I'd ask.
You just thought you'd ask. Well, the sound you hear in the background, by the way, see, when I turn my thing down, you can't hear it as much. But when I turn on both microphones, you can kind of hear it.
Well, it's summer in the city.
Huh?
It's summer.
It's getting to be summer.
It's just about
it's still,
another 2 weeks.
Today it was like in the 80s, but tomorrow it's going back to the 70s or something, and you know, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I work up a sweat anyway because I'm working out. Don't I look healthier? What are you looking at?
I'm just looking. I like when Damien does his little thing.
You're watching Damien do his
little thing. He hasn't gotten there yet.
He hasn't gotten there yet.
Or maybe he left already.
Maybe he did. He posts his show very fast.
Yeah, and
he is the one person that I have to take my hat off to. Oh wait a minute, too much glare. By the way, if I do this, all of a sudden everything gets brighter.
You did that yesterday with the yellow shirt.
Yeah, but I thought with a dark shirt it wouldn't have a problem. Oh, you notice? Do you notice at all what the shirt is I'm wearing?
The apple.
Yeah, this is I can't remember how I got this, but that's. Here, I gotta get the. See the Apple logo? That's the old.
That's the old one.
That's the older one. That's not the one they're using any longer. They're not using that any longer. That's the colored one. But I found this in the closet. In the one closet that I have for stuff. So you know. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Tired.
You tired?
Yeah. In about 20 minutes, I'm going to bed.
21 minutes.
20.
Then you always stick around for the people.
No, I'm not sticking around tonight.
Yeah.
So call in.
Yeah. We just saw something very depressing. We watched a hour-and-a-half documentary that's on Amazon.
No, HBO.
HBO, excuse me, on HBO, called The Last Year, I think it was called.
The Last Year or something like that.
Yeah. And it is about the last year of Obama's White House and the people who worked in it, more the diplomatic corps.
But in the diplomatic section, that area, you know,
yeah.
John Kerry and all the speechwriters and stop it.
Yeah.
And the UN ambassador.
She hates it when I pick my fingers. Look at that. She refuses to look. Anyway, tell them what it was about.
I just said.
I'm no longer picky. For the time being.
Stop it. It's so gross.
I just gross you out, don't I?
Yes, you do.
There's nothing about me that in any way is something you enjoy about me.
It's true.
Is there anything enjoyable about me left?
Left?
Left? I mean, that you seem to, when we first met, you seemed to enjoy me.
Well, that was like 15 years ago.
And what's happened since then?
Life.
I'm working out.
Yeah.
That means and almost every day.
Well, you shouldn't do it every day because you need your body to rest.
Well, I'm not listening to you.
Sure.
Anyway, I
don't want to hear about your working out.
I didn't work. What do you mean you don't want to hear about it?
We're talking about the documentary.
No, but I mean you want. You
anyway, it was a good documentary. You should watch it. And it ended when Trump got
elected, and everybody's really depressed.
Yeah, and I'm still depressed about it.
Huh?
I'm still depressed.
Really?
Oh, he's just what he's doing to this country is terrible.
Well, we then watched Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis that he did with Barack Obama. And it was so wonderful to have a president who had a sense of humor.
He does have a sense of humor.
And good timing, too, in comedy that he does. So, I mean, he's really good. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as I watch this, you just have this profound sense of loss.
Yeah, of our country.
Well, first the loss of Barack Obama, who really was, he wasn't a great president.
But he was a fine man.
He got to be a better president.
And he was a fine man.
But he was a fine man.
Yes.
He gave dignity to the office. He cared about the dignity of the office.
He loved his family.
Yeah.
He respected the office.
Yeah, yeah. At no point did he ever say that if she wasn't my daughter, I'd fuck her. There was a class there that you miss. You know. And I remember that I kind of at one point years ago said, well, this was when Bush was president, I miss Clinton. No, I miss Clinton. But I don't think I miss Clinton as much as I miss Obama.
Yeah, I agree.
I just like the dignity and the class that he brought to the White House rather than the stupid shit that's going on now. By the way, today, the president went back on what he said yesterday about Korea. And why did he say the thing he said yesterday? The letter he sent to him?
Yeah, because he was losing face.
It was like a letter a 13-year-old writes to a 13-year-old girlfriend.
And they break up.
And they'd broken up. Read it that way, and it's the same kind of letter. And somebody said the reason why he did that yesterday and why it changed today was he wanted to get out in front of it in case Korea said we don't want to do the talks, okay? And therefore he wouldn't be embarrassed because he had quit first.
My dick is bigger than your dick.
Today he found out that they really don't want to quit and they weren't planning on backing out. So now all of a sudden he's changed his tune. This president is, from day to day, you never know what his opinion is going to be.
And he wants it that way. He wants to keep everybody, walking on eggshells. And we're spending all our time on what his tweets are and not on the serious stuff that's happening, which is terrible.
Yeah, well, it's horrible.
It is.
But anyway, so... What I watched this week? Let's say I watched Fahrenheit 451, which wasn't as good as the movie that Francois Truffaut made many, many years ago. And I thought it was going to be a two-parter, and it turned out it was a one-parter. And I went at the end, I said, gee, this thing is wrapping up awfully. And then I looked it up, and it was the only thing. It was just a made-for-TV HBO movie, It's not porn, it's HBO.
That is a great ad.
Yeah, it's not porn, it's HBO. Anyway, I think I'm too tired to do a show tonight.
I'm definitely tired.
Why don't we just both...
In exactly...
You know what happened to me? There's this
16 minutes.
There's a show called Legion, which is... I haven't decided whether it's a good show or a bad show.
But you'll watch it anyway.
No, but it is because...
This is from a guy who says that he never watches television.
I have certain shows
Quote,
I watch.
unquote.
I have certain shows I watch.
I don't care. I have my shows that I watch.
Now I have nothing to watch because it's
Wait till our summer company comes, and we have a lot of company coming this summer.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, we don't have that much. We have one guy for 3 days. Albert's coming to stay.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm going to make chili for him.
Albert and his wife are coming to stay for a week.
And Janice
Which means I don't get to use that room.
And Janice is coming from Monday to Friday. She leaves on Friday.
Yeah, but Albert's coming, and I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll probably get him on the show here.
Great. Do it on Friday.
Huh?
Do it on Friday so I can go to sleep.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell. They probably have things to do on Friday.
15 minutes.
What?
Nothing.
What, are you doing the time?
Yeah.
And I'm starving because I've been dieting again. And I had a salad. Made myself a salad tonight.
Adrian said that you have always been on a diet since the day she met you.
Well, apparently it didn't work before. This time it worked. But I just don't. I seem to be gaining weight, and I don't know what it is. I'm trying, and I figure out I'm doing away with all the stuff that says net carbs. I'm figuring maybe that's where it's coming.
Maybe cut your portions a little.
No, it isn't a matter of portions. In fact, I didn't have lunch. I didn't have breakfast today. Didn't have breakfast yesterday.
Well, that's not good. You should,
have
a lot of little meals.
And then I had a salad tonight for dinner, and I had a couple of macadamia nuts, and that's it.
Okay.
But I'm not doing net carbs any longer. Okay. Net carbs is carbs minus the fiber and minus the
I don't
sugar,
think anyone
alcohol.
wants to know.
Yeah. No, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
So, and minus those, okay? And
really interesting, isn't it?
So that then it goes with the carbs.
So there.
So if something has, let's say I have some Brazil nuts. They have two carbs of carbohydrates, but it has 2 grams of dietary fiber. Therefore, it has net 0 carbs. But I'm not counting that anymore.
You have too much time on your hands.
Well, I want to know why I'm working out. Every time I used to say, I'm gaining weight, I'm putting a little bit of it back. I got back another pound. You go, well, if you just work out.
Well, it's not going to happen overnight, Alex.
Well, this
took you 77 years to get.
This is 2 weeks I've been working out.
So it's going
almost every day.
Well, you shouldn't do it every day.
Why?
But your body needs to rest.
I like it. I'm addicted to it.
Fuck you.
The endorphins.
I'm going to bed.
I love the endorphins. I'm hooked.
Good.
I'm hooked on endorphins.
Yeah, right.
So, well, what is your workout regimen? You
heavy.
Yeah, you and how many days a week?
3.
Mm-hmm. Only 3?
Well, I can't get there during the week. It's hard.
Oh, I see. Okay, and so what do you do when you go to work out?
It's a long process.
What do you mean it's a long process?
It is.
Because I find it absolutely excruciatingly boring.
Well, that's you.
I'm sitting there pedaling on a bicycle. It's going nowhere.
And your point is?
And my point is, there I am. I did what I do. I did 27 minutes today on the bike. Got myself up to 150 calories and 6 miles. All right? What do you mean? You really give me no incentive in this thing. You don't go, Alex, that was terrific.
You told me to shut up because I'll try to put on you the stuff that I do and tell you everything that's bad so I don't say a word. I'm just glad you're going to the gym. End of conversation. Okay?
What do you mean end of conversation?
That's it.
Hey, we're arguing. Guess what?
We have 2 people listening.
No, we have a lot of people listening.
I'm going to bed.
Why?
I'm tired.
You can't go to bed yet.
12 minutes.
Where's this? Every day this asks me if I want to upgrade my my programs, and I don't want to do that. All right? Cut that out there. Okay, now.
Do you believe him?
No, but I mean, I want encouragement.
I'm glad you're going to the gym, Alex.
What, and you say, Adrian says you've always been trying to lose weight.
Well, and I believe it because since I met you, you've always been trying to lose weight.
Well, I've always been conscious of my weight, yes, because I'm in show business. What are you laughing about? I was in show business.
That's why you went into radio.
I used to. Radio was in show business?
No, it is, but you're not seen.
I did.
You're not seen.
Yeah, I did a lot of TV, too. So I had to look good.
When you were somebody.
When I was somebody. I had TV. I did TV, too. What do you think those 2 Emmys sitting there for? Not looking good? So anyway, and what happens, this is what I don't get. Whenever you get together with your girlfriends who know me on some level, they always manage to say something to you disparaging about me.
No, she just said that as long as she knows you, you've been either going ballooning up or ballooning down. You've always been on a diet.
So is she.
We're not talking about her.
Well, yeah, but she was talking about me.
So?
She's almighty.
Can I come over?
No, you can't come over. Just stay where you are.
9 minutes.
Huh?
I'm going to bed. I didn't get a good night's sleep, and I'm tired.
Yeah. But I go down there, and I break a sweat.
Good. Oh, and he goes with the towel around his neck.
Well, I need a towel when I'm there. Where do I put the towel? Down my crotch? And
It's so cute with the rolled towel around his neck.
Well, you know what I bought today?
What?
There? I bought a lock.
Oh, good.
And I bought a lock so I can take a gym bag with me. So I can
Good.
put the towel in the gym bag. That's the only thing in the gym bag is the towel.
That's
So
okay.
you'll shut the fuck up. Because I don't know what else I want to take to the gym. But I found out they have lockers. I mean, I found out they actually have a locker room. I didn't know that.
They probably have showers,
They
too.
do, too. Yeah. But I don't need to take a shower. Because I come home and I take the shower.
No, at least you're doing some activity other than sitting in bed and
Yeah,
watching
the shower is
television.
exhausting.
No, but you're not watching television.
Well, I know. I go down every day. I mean, I've been very good about this. Except for yesterday. Yesterday I went out to lunch with Jack.
How was that?
Oh, it was very good. And by the way, I asked Jack, ladies and gentlemen, because you've all been asking, Jack Garfine,
Gonna
the
come
guy
back.
that we did the thing about the concentration camp.
Now part
well,
two.
part two of his life is incredibly interesting.
Right.
And people have been asking, when are you going to do that? And I told him how much you loved him, everybody. And he said...
Next week.
No, in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Okay. All
and-
right.
no, I'm not through yet. We aren't even close. We got 7 minutes left. But I got to adjust my picture here. Let me just adjust it a second, because I want to bring the camera down a little bit, the tilt down, so that the light is more, and the pan is over there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Apply. All right. Okay. There we go. I was just adjusting the picture.
I'm assuming that's what you were doing.
Yeah. I thought maybe that would help. Yeah, that helps a little bit. Look at the back, how it gets.
I saw it yesterday.
How the
when you
back
were
gets
doing it.
darker when I have this on like this. When I do that, but this is a black shirt. It shouldn't,
Maybe it's the movement. That
I don't know.
changes.
You know what I found out the other day? Remember last week you were like pounding on the table, and that light was flashing on and off. You know what I think? What it was?
What?
Do it again. Do it again. Yeah. What it is? No. It's
Vibration.
no. Yeah. It's from. It's the mic.
Ah.
Yeah. It's because it's pounding the microphone.
Ah.
It causes you to make
Okay.
those lights flash.
Turn it on.
I was telling people last night that you bought that for me,
I did.
and then you always give me a bad time when it isn't on.
It was a stocking stuffer.
It was a stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
So anyway, we miss Obama, and this president is he just made the whole thing just horrible.
And not only that, just
There's
the presence of of what the position is, of what the White House is. He's turned it into a dump.
There's no dignity.
That's
Well,
right.
he's turned it into a used car lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it'd be nice if we had more, if it just had a little more dignity. That's all. Yeah.
All right, sweetie.
No, I'm fixing a few things here.
I'm just gonna
We're still
watch you do
offline.
it.
No, you just go there. It says we've delivered your order. What order did they deliver? Once a month, once every 3 months, I pay. Was it $19 so that people can use the phone on the show?
Oh.
Which I'm thinking of doing away with, because hardly anybody ever uses the phone on the show. The only person that uses it is what's his name? I forget his name now.
Oh, what's his name?
Yeah.
Uses it.
Yeah, everybody else uses Skype. So why I have that phone number, I have no idea.
Oh, the one that we never see.
Huh?
The one that we never see.
Yeah, Tim.
Tim, get a camera.
You get a camera, get Skype, and
call the proper
if
way.
you hang up, you can save me $19. Well, you can save me essentially about $8 a month. Okay. So.
Okay, my darling.
What do you mean? Okay, my darling, you still got 5 minutes.
No, I'm
You got
tired.
5 minutes suffering while I pick my fingers and tell you about my latest ailments. My tooth's been bothering me today. And do you know that eye drops you put in? You say, do the eye drops. They get good for your eyes.
Well, you haven't complained about your eyes.
Yeah, but they burn for at least 2 hours after I put the
You're kidding.
stuff in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're burning right now.
Wow.
Then you remember I did it earlier.
Yeah.
She gives me her leftovers. What is that? That's what's it called? Rustacin?
Well, they do it in these little vials, and they put a lot in it. And when I first started taking it, there was so much. I called the company because I thought, well, maybe you're supposed to do morning and night out of the same one. She said the reason why they put so much in is because seniors who basically use this miss their eye. You know, like they'll get it.
I'll miss it sometime.
Yeah, I have to. But I mean,
so she uses half, and then she gives me the other half.
yeah.
How do you know maybe my eyes shouldn't be using it?
Well, go see Dr. Copeland.
Yeah, I should go and have my eyes checked again.
Okay, my dear.
No, not yet. Not yet. Still got another 3 minutes.
Oh, God.
Gotta suffer. Come on. Let's start arguing. The numbers, we got to get the numbers up.
I'm the suffering wife.
No, but I mean, why do you stay married to me? Can I ask you that question?
Well, isn't it, so this is it, marriage?
Well, but that's not the point. That's not the point. In which case, I'm just getting on a plane and going out to California.
Well, I'm going with you.
Why?
Of course, we haven't been on a trip.
No, it's not a trip. I'm doing it to get away from you.
Oh, well, goodbye.
Because you hate me so much.
I don't hate you.
Yes, you hate me.
I'm not.
You're always complaining about me.
Well.
And everything has to be in the place you want it to be in the house.
Because you make a mess, Alex.
No, I don't
make
make a mess.
I've seen what you did with the blanket cover. There's spots all over
Oh,
it.
you want me to show you where you got a nice big brown spot on your side? Huh? Bigger than any spot I have on my side.
Anyway, it's going to be washed tomorrow.
Is the cleaning woman here tomorrow?
No, I'm doing it.
You're doing it. Okay, well, do the one in the guest room too, because it needs it. But no,
3 minutes. I'm
no,
coming
no,
over.
you're
I
not
don't care.
coming.
Yes, I
No,
am.
you're not coming over.
Stop it.
You're not coming over.
Can this marriage be saved?
No, but I want to know. I want a reason why we should keep this marriage going. Because you seem unhappy. Now, the latest thing is the light in the bathroom.
Hey, at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
when I go to the bathroom,
Yeah.
I don't want it on.
Yeah,
and if
well,
you have to use the bathroom, just turn the light on.
I will be happy to turn it off at 2 o'clock in the morning because that's when I go to sleep. But while I'm awake, I like to go in and have the light
So you
there.
just flip the
But
light
no,
switch on.
You want me to turn it off like while I'm on the air because you might have to get up to go to the bathroom.
Not while you're on the air, but when you come out of the bathroom, turn it off. I'm going home.
Wait a minute, you are home.
Well,
no, where are you going?
I'm going home.
What? You're leaving?
Yeah.
You're not even going to talk to them?
No.
Huh?
No.
You're not going to talk to them? Why not? Why not? Why aren't you?
I don't like you anymore.
You don't like me anymore. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's the end of the relationship.
That's it.
She doesn't like me anymore.
I love you.
Oh boy! And she's leaving a minute before she should.
All right, here I am.
Huh?
Here I am.
Okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're double screened there. Look at you. Is that strange?
That's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, what?
There.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
I'll turn on. Look, we lost people because you weren't arguing with me enough. They listen to this to feel better about their relationships.
Yes, exactly.
You know. Let me see here.
Call in.
Wait a minute. I got to get everything ready here before people can call in. Okay, we are ready.
Call in.
The lines are open and everything.
Is it a Phil-free night?
No, it hasn't been a Phil-free night all week.
Oh.
As a matter of fact.
Just feels like a Phil-free
Huh?
night. Just feels like a Phil-free night.
Yeah.
Say that fast.
Phil-free night. Phil-free night.
Phil-free
Phil-free
night.
night. Filthy night. Filthy night. Filthy night. No. Last night I asked him to recite the Star Spangled Banner if he loved it so much.
What was the
And
thing
he
we
couldn't.
saw Trump that was like mouthing
Yeah.
the words of the Star Spangled
Yeah,
Banner?
and so I had Ray Renati sing it, and he sang it for
He sang
him.
it good.
Yeah, in fact, that's on our thing, our little
Newscast.
news break thing. Let me see here. Oh,
God,
there's
what's that?
Phil.
What's that hat?
what is the cap?
Oh, this is a
Star
Gary
Wars?
Sinise cap.
That's a Gary Sinise cap.
Oh.
Doing good for America.
Don't you ever buy any like communist hats and things like that?
Only you do that.
I'm waiting till you die and I inherit yours.
Yeah.
You got it. I'll send it to you.
All the commie hats.
Yeah, this is the guy who last night could not sing or even recite the Star Spangled Banner.
I called my friend who was on The Voice, and wouldn't you know it, he sings it beautifully, and his allergies are up, so he's going to do it next.
I didn't want him calling the show. We already had a good rendition of the Star Spangled Banner.
Never had a rendition.
I don't want the Star Spangled Banner 2 nights in a row on my show because it's a lousy fucking song.
Well, at least you don't have to worry that it's copyrighted.
Save the Queen. I like the British.
No. That's my country, 'tis of thee.
No, the words are...
God save the Queen.
No, I mean, Star Spangled Banner is the only one you can do and not worry about getting turned off on YouTube.
What do you mean? No, really? I can do America the Beautiful.
Oh, I'm sure he could too. Yeah, he does that Hawaiian guy, Oz. Israel.
The big fat guy who dropped dead from being the big fat guy?
Yeah, but
it's a version you're always hearing of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, he does that. He does others.
He's not the one that died with the piano that came down on him.
That's the trouble. The trouble with The Voice, the show The Voice, is I can't name anybody who ever won it.
Yeah, well, this guy is a plumber. And when you look at him, and he'll do it on camera. When you look at him, he's about 360 pounds, and he looks like the guy, Israel. I can't pronounce his last name, but so when he went out on the Voice, they looked at him and they couldn't believe that his voice was coming out of him.
Body.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, I got to get some soda here.
I'm gonna spill it.
No, I'm not.
Good night.
Oh, you're going?
Yeah, it's time.
Okay. That's
See
because
you,
nobody else is calling. Now you want to leave me here all alone with Phil.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay the price.
See you, Phil.
You were saying that Trump is cheapening the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now there's a sale at the White House. He's selling, nights in the Lincoln bedroom. He should. I mean, Obama did.
You know what he's selling also, and you were wondering about them the other night. You were saying, "Oh no, those are some coins made by somebody else or whatever."
Yeah. Kim Jong-un.
He had those coins made up, and guess what? He's selling them in the White House souvenir shop.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah. Was that Ivanka's idea?
Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, he's an entrepreneur.
No, but I mean, I watched Obama. Obama was a classy guy and had a sense of humor, smiled a lot. You never see Trump smiling.
Most con men have a sense of humor and smile a lot.
Well, then I don't know why Trump isn't smiling.
Because he's not a con man.
He was known as one of the biggest
stuff done.
He was known as one of the biggest con men around.
He's doing everything he promised he'd do.
Yeah, fuck up the country.
Well, that's what we wanted.
Yeah, big fuck up. Yeah.
So, you went to the gym today, huh?
Yeah, I went to the gym. Yeah.
Are they getting suspicious that you're hanging out there?
No, why should they be suspicious that I'm hanging out there?
Because they don't know who you are, and you're showing up all of a sudden. They're not sure.
I'll tell you what. There's a lack
of ID.
What there's a lack of at this gym, and I don't want to sound out of step with the times. Okay, but part of the reason you go to the gym is for the hot-looking babes, right?
Yeah, lack of babes.
Oh, there are babes there. They're just not hot.
Oh, and you're going to the gym that's sponsored by Walmart.
Probably. Well, I mean, mine is a $15 a month gym.
Yeah.
Now, I upped that price today by buying a lock for $6. In case I ever want to lock up a locker.
Yeah. So they don't have automatic locking lockers that you just put in your own code.
No, you have to bring your own locker. Yeah.
All right. You have to bring your own soap?
Huh?
Soap for the shower.
I don't know because I don't take a shower there.
Yeah. Well, Marjorie says you don't take a shower at home either.
No, I do. I come home immediately after working out and I shower.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so
can't by me.
So they're cocksucker.
What else you got on the agenda today?
Absolutely nothing. I'm just waiting for people to call besides you so I'd have somebody to talk to.
Nobody's going to call. Maybe we should just end the show early, and then what'll happen is they'll see the dead air, and they'll realize that, hey, next time, call.
See, I have a problem with that dead air because I don't know. Then you've got a problem with Jack. He knows how to take the show and put his on after mine. He doesn't know how to put his show on when there's no show before him. So if I sign off early, that throws him off, and I'll get a call from him going, "What? Where are you? What's happening?" So.
Well, at least you know you needed.
Last night, he didn't even get his show recorded.
No?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. He doesn't know either. It should have recorded automatically with the program he uses, but he didn't. So that's why, if you listen, folks, online, you aren't hearing a new show. Okay.
So it was a good show. He was talking about cars. It was of interest to me.
Really?
Yeah.
What about cars?
Well, he likes classic cars, and Renee, it seems sounded like she was in the market for a new car.
Yeah.
And and Amy kept taking pictures of cars and putting them up on the air.
Well, you couldn't put them on the air because they don't do video.
Well, but we could see it.
You could see it, yeah. That's why I don't show pictures on this show, because if I show them on the air, you guys can't see them.
Yeah. Well, that's you want people to call in, so they won't see it unless they call in.
Well, apparently we're not getting any calls tonight.
No?
Yeah. Well, it's the Memorial Day weekend and all of that, so.
I understand.
Yeah.
And that's why I wore a, what would you call it, a hat that would demonstrate my support for...
yeah, but it doesn't say anything patriotic except it's camo.
No, it's got the Gary Sinise Foundation logo.
But we don't know that. Because it doesn't say Gary Sinise on it.
Right.
Oh, on the side it says it. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you there, Ray? I think Ray, here we go. Here comes Ray again. Let me see here. There he is. You there, Ray?
Hey, I'm here, yeah.
Hey, he's there.
I didn't want you to sign off, so I was at Safeway shopping, listening to you argue with your wife.
Yeah. Today was not a particularly good argument,
Yeah,
but
I was excited. It reminded me of my grandparents.
Well, she's always
years ago.
She hates everything I do.
Well, that's women.
Huh? Well, I don't want that.
I know it sucks, but that's just the way it is.
It is the way it is.
So
they're always going to do that.
Yeah, really?
So you just have to fuck yeah. You just have to
you would have thought after
honeydews.
You would have thought after 78 years about let's say 65 of them dating women, that by now that would not be lost on me. But apparently it is.
Hey, Ray,
I'm just learning it now, so yeah.
Did your wife yell at you in French?
No, she doesn't yell. French people don't yell. If you raise your voice like this, you're yelling. No, she used to get mad at me in French. Now she just speaks English.
Yeah.
She can be brutal. Ooh, man.
Ouch.
Just like you, Alex, turning off the lights, leaving a mess, and all that crap.
Yeah, but
no matter what you do, it's never going to be enough.
I'm not.
No matter what.
I am not particularly messy, but sometimes I will eat something in bed, like a cookie or whatever, and a crumb will get on the bed. So I wipe the crumbs off. Okay, very simple.
About it.
And I never hear the end of it. Look at what a slob you are.
And then I go over to her side of the bed, and I've been making it for the last several days. This big brown spot. I don't know. She must have dropped coffee or something. I have no idea what it was. But
no, it never applies to them.
But do I say to her, hey, you know, there's a big spot over on your side of the bed?
And you know, it's hitting home because you can never trust a fart, and you think it's coffee, but.
Hey, what, you think this plumber can sing better than me? This fucking 500-pound plumber?
This plumber has got the most angelic voice.
Phil and his great.
I was singing in my fake opera voice. That's not normally how I sound. I was fucking around.
Yeah,
but I'm not on the voice either.
He's been at the Lesher Auditorium. He sang.
Oh,
there.
Really?
Yeah, he's good.
By himself?
Yeah, well, yeah, but don't go booking my show, okay?
Singing Lesher Auditorium.
Call in on Skype and start singing.
It'll be the singing.
Yeah, I said, give him the national anthem. I got beat up on the news today. National anthem.
Yeah, my eyes are burning today.
Well, at least you stood up.
Well, how's that?
You stood up when I sang. You were the only one.
No, Alex did too.
Oh, Alex did, and Patrick wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just
the intention of standing up.
It's just a fucking, it's just a fucking song. You know, there's in the Jewish religion, also in the Christian religion, and Christ said, God said, you shall have no idols before me, and this is idolatry. When you treat the national anthem with that kind of baseless reverence,
looking at it from a different, from a perspective that is not accurate. It's being proud of your country, of the people that have died for your country, and honoring them.
No. Number one, I'm not proud of this country. Secondly, I don't feel proud for the people who have died. I feel sorry for them, that they had to die because some people decided that a war was needed.
Well, how about World War II, where a war was needed? You know, and these men and women.
Well, I see. I'm all for, if you want to hold a war, fine. But it's the old saying about, what if you held a war and nobody came? I think that what they should do is they should maybe, if they want to hold a war, declare war, and then say, you volunteers, line up. And then if there are volunteers, you figure maybe the war's worth it. But when you go and you draft people and you force people to go off to those wars, all I can do is feel sorry for them, not proud of them.
During World War II, they had a draft, but there were tons of people that volunteered.
Yes, but I'm saying that's fine. If you want to volunteer to go off to a war, I perhaps during World War II, if I were old enough and I was seeing what was happening in Germany, I would be willing to do that too. But, the thing is that you say, well, what about World War II? And I'd say, well, yeah, if it saved Jews from going to the concentration camps, I would have been for fighting that war. But unfortunately, this country didn't give a shit about doing that.
That's true, but
there was also the Japanese.
Well, the Japanese, they attacked Pearl Harbor, but we knew they were going to attack Pearl Harbor, and we let it happen.
Yeah,
we let it happen because we wanted an excuse to be able to.
I'm not so sure about that. I know.
This is the
general consensus.
They knew in Washington that it was going to happen because the day before, the Japanese delegation in Washington packed their bags and left town. Okay.
Truman wanted a reason to use the bomb.
Not to use the bomb. We didn't have that yet. But Roosevelt wanted an excuse to get, because Americans didn't.
I knew he was talking about later.
Okay, Americans didn't want to go to the war in Europe. They were absolutely against it because they'd just gotten off another war, the Great War. Well, in those days it was called the Great War because there was no World War I, because there was no World War II. So they called it the Great War. And they just come off the Great War, and they were very opposed to any intervention anywhere else in the world that would send people off to war again.
Kind of like Trump.
Let me just finish what I'm saying. learn a little something here. So Roosevelt, if he had said, well, I want to go to war in Europe, the public would have just gone, fuck you, you know. Fuck you, you wheelchair-bound asshole, you know. And they would have, so he needed an excuse. And when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, the excuse was there. And as long as we were arming, let's go over to Europe as well. And there, of course, is the Disney dog again. What's the dog's name?
Foxy.
Boxy?
Foxy.
Oh, Foxy.
Like yeah, Foxy.
Oh, I see. Is it a she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you are supportive of an all-volunteer army, and it was a Republican, Richard Nixon, who created the volunteer army and eliminated the draft.
He did not eliminate the draft during Vietnam.
He eliminated the draft the week of June 20th, 1972. The last lottery, I was 18 on June 24th.
Okay, but my question is, when was the war in Vietnam over with?
74.
Because I seem to remember that the draft still was going, and if it wasn't still going, a good reason why it wasn't still going is that so many Americans, it was dividing America so badly.
I was the last lottery, and my lottery didn't count. I was number 64. That meant that I was going to Vietnam, but that week, that lottery didn't count, and that was the last lottery the week of June 20th, 1972.
By the way, I'm looking at it right now. It was January 27th, 1973.
When? The end of the
last draft.
The last draft, and the war in Vietnam ended when?
What?
The war in Vietnam ended when?
Oh, well, I mean...
74.
So really, for the most part...
The last draft lottery, I know, was the week of my...
but what don't you understand what I'm saying is that...
75.
It got to the point where there were so many protests in this country and so on that they had to do something to stop that, and by ending the draft, they at least silenced a lot of people.
No, but they were winding the war down, and because they were doing that,
what do you mean winding the war down? We were finding a way to get out. We were trying to find the exit.
Well, we had the exit in Paris.
Repeat these words after me, Phil. We lost the Vietnam War.
No.
Yes, we did.
We did.
They ran over the whole country. I remember the day.
I know you don't. I know you don't want to believe that, and neither do all the parents who lost kids in there. But it was. There was 59,000 American men and women who died in a useless war. We have to admit that to ourselves. It's the only way. It's the only way we're going to get better. Hello, Mr. Ritter. How are you this evening?
Hello.
Yeah, this asshole's still blathering on like he normally does. So.
Yeah, well, at least I resisted the communist onslaught.
You resisted? I served in the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I served in it at the beginning of the Vietnam War, so I'm considered a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so fuck you and any of your political feelings. Mine trump yours, so to speak.
Well, I'm glad you like Trump.
Yeah. So how are you? Chris? What's new?
Not much. Just went from Nevada to California today, and Memorial Day, and I got a lot of neighbors up here who are veterans, so I'll probably listen to their stories and find out what's going on with them.
Yeah, you're in Vegas, but then you also live in L.A., right, as well?
No, it's about 100 miles east of L.A. in the mountains up here.
Oh, wow.
So I'm about 7,200 feet up right now.
And you have internet service, right?
Oh yeah,
obviously.
Where are you up there?
Big Bear. There's about 8,000 residents, and then we probably have another 5,000 tourists coming up this weekend.
Well, you must have awfully good internet service because you've got a great picture and it's not stuttering or doing anything. It looks clear.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people go to Big Bear all the time, and it's like
ski.
There's a ski resort. There's all kinds of stuff to do.
I'm
in the
sure
summer,
that's probably
right?
why he has
mini
good,
Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
I'm sure that's why he has good internet services, because the people who run those hotels and stuff want good internet service. So you have a home there?
Yeah, we have a little shack up here, and we work from home basically. We can be anywhere.
Yeah, but
we were in Chicago for 30 days over the Christmas, and big road trip, went across and saw a bunch of cool things. I love the road trips, so there's so much to see. There's 6 ways to go to Chicago.
Obviously, you have a wife, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you have children?
No.
Oh, so the two of you can just go on little trips and say, fuck all. We're free to go anywhere we want to go.
We just have friends with kids who complain about them all the time, and we still are jealous a little, but they complain all the time. Parents nowadays, they just seem to hate their kids.
Well, I've never had children.
Yeah.
Although I think I had one, but I'm not sure. It was when I was very young, and they decided to put it up for adoption. In those days, it was a blind adoption. There's no way I could find it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that being the case, I really have never had any kids that I can put a name on. Okay, they can adopt the last wonderful name of Schwarzman,
right.
And Marjorie has never had kids. Mm-hmm. And so we are two people who at this age have not had kids, not because we couldn't, but because we didn't.
Yeah, there's enough kids. Shakespeare didn't have kids, so.
Yes, he did. He had 3.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been lying to myself all these years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Really? Because
he didn't pay attention to them. He left them,
right,
and went to London.
He went out for cigarettes and wrote some plays and had someone else write some plays for him.
And then he'd come back once in a while, and then he came back just before he died. But he had a son who died. His name was Hamnet, which is where he got the name for the play Hamlet.
Okay, I forgot all. I had to know this, but I forgot it. Yeah.
Really? Now you see, I often wondered, do we know that much about Shakespeare? I mean, it's almost like with Christ. I mean, did Christ really exist?
No, we know we know a lot about Shakespeare.
We do know a lot about Shakespeare.
Yeah, the whole thing about not knowing anything is bullshit.
Now, what about the rumors that he was really another playwright altogether?
No, that's ridiculous.
I can't remember the name of the other playwright.
I've done a ton of research on it. That's
so
just
other
ridiculous.
People have too.
I even went to Stratford upon Avon. There's all kinds of evidence all over the place. Like his father was a tanner, and the thing that Shakespeare knows most about when he talks about the working class are tanners in his plays, and everything he says there is precisely correct. Everything else he makes all kinds of mistakes about. He knows everything about tanning, and there are like 50-something references in his plays.
He was also bad at dry cleaning because he just felt that by saying "out, damn spot" would make it go away. So.
Yeah.
No, that was vile.
Well, that was a woman, so.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like the spot on your bed. It's like Marjorie should just be out, damn spot.
When was it? He said, "Out, vile jelly," and guy says, "Well, I can still see through the other eye," and he says, pokes him in the eye.
My favorite line in all of Shakespeare is in Hamlet, because it shows how dirty Hamlet could get in his plays now and then. And he says to what was her name? Is Desdemona? Who was the woman in Hamlet? Was it Desdemona?
I think so.
Yeah.
I have to look it up. I can't believe I'm forgetting.
He said, "Lady, may I lie in thy lap?" And she says, "But sire," and he says, "Nay, I did not mean country matters."
Right.
Yeah, he has all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. Have you been to Ashland recently, or you get up there as much as you can, or?
I haven't been recently, but I need to go.
I got there last August. It was a lot of fun.
Ophelia.
Yeah.
Ophelia, excuse me. Yeah. Where's Desdemona from, I wonder? Othello?
Yes, Othello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the out vile jelly, is that King Lear?
I don't remember.
You know, when he sticks his thumb in the guy's eye?
Maybe. Yeah.
Excuse me, folks.
Yeah,
but,
it's later.
A couple of nights ago, we were talking about how big is your father's dick, and tonight we're talking about Hamlet and Shakespeare.
Yeah.
I had a Hamlet this morning.
You know what I always used to say, and some people have agreed with me on this, and that was that the modern Shakespeare was Tennessee Williams, that he wrote in the same kind of prose. That there was, and if you even look at Tennessee Williams, he looks a little bit like Shakespeare.
Well, Shakespeare wrote in iambic pentameter, which is bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum mostly.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. Tennessee Williams doesn't do that.
Well,
but
he writes in free.
His imagery is similar.
He writes in free prose. If you listen to him, it's very melodic.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I always compared him to being the modern Shakespeare. However, his subject matter was different. He didn't, where Shakespeare always wrote about basically great people or people who had status. Tennessee Williams always wrote about, in some cases, rednecks, and people who didn't have anything.
Failed great people.
I mean, in terms of genius, I think the equivalent is Stephen Sondheim.
Well, that's different though. He wrote music,
but he writes lyrics, and but the thing with Sondheim's music is it fits the moment in a way that Shakespeare's language fits the moment. Like the language informs what's happening in that moment, and Stephen Sondheim's lyrics and his and the music precisely fit exactly what Sondheim wants to express, and that's exactly what Shakespeare did. Like there's never any question.
Sondheim's music, Sondheim is incredible, just absolutely incredible. But I do think when it comes to playwrights, I still say I think the best playwright of the 20th century was Tennessee Williams.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, I
overall,
I loved his work. I read everything that he ever wrote, and in fact, I even saw him act in one of his own plays off Broadway. In fact, I met him. When I was having dinner at Abby Hoffman's house, and Abby said, we're going to have a special guest after dinner, and in walks Tennessee Williams.
Yeah.
And
he's creepy.
I almost peed my pants, and he came in with two young boys.
Yes.
And he then sat on the floor. Abby was sitting in a chair. He sat on the floor at Abby's feet and looked up at him and said, "Tell me about the revolution, Abby."
Yeah.
And I thought, he's fucking Blanche Dubois. When he wrote Blanche Dubois, he was writing his own voice.
Yes. And these young boys, and I remember you talking about that years ago, and I wanted to talk to you because I have a friend who was one of those young boys, and he used to hang out at his house. And there were always young boys there, Michael Jackson style, all the time.
Now there were two things about him that I also know. He went to, I can't remember what the hospital was, the one in Minnesota, the clinic.
Mayo
Clinic. And they claimed that they could cure him of his homosexuality. These were in the days where they had this idea you could cure homosexuality.
Yeah.
And he always felt guilty about being gay. In fact, the play I saw him do off Broadway, he does a whole speech about how horrible it is to be a homosexual. And anyway, they put him through this whole thing where they cured him of his homosexuality, or he thought they did. Never wrote another good play after that. And my idea is, if you're a shrink, do not, when you have a creative person, don't fuck with the very thing that makes him creative. It may be a great deal of pain that makes him creative, but you do away with that. And when this guy was writing at his height, he was incredible.
His plays are just beautiful.
Yeah,
just poetic, beautiful plays with incredible stories, and overall, I agree with you, Alex. I mean, he just turned one, and he has one-act plays and two-act plays, and he just was prolific.
He has a a play called Camino Real. It's pronounced Camino Real, not Camino Real. And it's an amazing abstract play.
It's a great play.
About the play.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I studied it intricately.
Probably one of his least performed, but just a wonderful play. But what I heard was that originally, when he wrote Streetcar Named Desire, it was about guys. It wasn't about a guy and a woman and her sister. It was about three guys, and it was a play about homosexuals, basically. And that when he took it to whoever he took it to try and sell it to Broadway, they said, "We're not ready for this." So he changed one of the characters to Blanche Dubois, and the thing still read pretty much the same as it read. That's what I heard. Now I don't know if that's true. In fact, I should ask my friend Jack Garfine if what I heard is true, because I have no idea. Yeah.
I wonder if your friend knows my friend here, because my friend hung out with Tennessee Williams' house for months at a time years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, so
we're when I was a young actor, the check the box list was Shakespeare, Arthur Miller, and Tennessee Williams.
Yeah.
And I got cast in a Tennessee Williams play in Foster City, and he died during rehearsal, and somehow they lost the rights because of the estate. So they ended up doing the Mandrake route instead, which is kind of public domain, I think. But so I was like, I didn't get my Williams, but I got one a couple years later. So
was that at Hillbarn?
Yeah, Hillbarn. They did the Mandragola instead, but I wanted to do that Williams, So
Chris and I have.
By the way, you mentioned Arthur Miller,
right?
Another absolutely incredible playwright. I mean, there's maybe no better play in the American theater than The Crucible. I mean,
I think the Death of a Salesman.
Death of a Salesman is terrific, but there's something.
All My Sons is pretty good too.
I mean,
I feel like All My Sons is like a warm up.
He was terrific.
If you like Death of a Salesman, I'm surprised you haven't looked into David Mamet.
Mamet, that right wing asshole.
Well, Glenn Ross. Now you said you hadn't seen the movie, but
I've never seen
Glenn Ross was an adaptation of David Mamet. Play.
Mamet.
If you say Mamet again, I'm going to puke.
Nuclear.
Hello, Bree. How are you?
I got to go take a look.
I got to tell you something. I was looking, Bree. I got, I have an Apple TV, 4K Apple TV. I have two of them, actually. Oh. And they have these screensavers that come on that are full screen and just beautiful because they're in 4K, various flyovers over certain places, kind of in slow motion, and there are a bunch of them. One is the sands of Dubai. That is just gorgeous. But the one that just amazes me is a nighttime shot of Dubai and then a flyover going towards, what's that building with the sharp top on it?
Burj Khalifa.
What's it called again?
Burj Khalifa.
Burj Khalifa. That town looks like the city of the future. If you were to do a science fiction movie and you were to say, okay, here's the city of the future.
They have.
It would look like that.
Well, this is where Star Trek is, the latest Star Trek is made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't have to change it very much.
They don't have to do any CGI. I mean, I looked at this. It's got to be CGI. It's incredible. And you got those fountains.
Yeah,
that go up like the fountains in Vegas. The dancing waters. I mean, it's just amazing.
They have a goal, I think I mentioned before, to be 10. They want to be 1 decade ahead of everyone else. So 10 years out. So whatever the latest, greatest is in the world, they want to be 10 years beyond that.
Yeah. So how come when I look at this picture, I'm seeing a ceiling that's just your normal ceiling tiles and it doesn't look like you're in any kind of exotic terrain?
Well,
is that the way?
Because I'm in my office.
Oh, okay. But I mean, is that the way offices look in Dubai? I mean, there's nothing modern about them?
They look many different ways.
Yeah.
That's his.
Of course, it's anywhere else, you know. And
Yeah.
it's Saturday morning. I shouldn't really be here, but I don't know. You ever know? Like, I haven't checked in for a while. Sometimes I get on this streak where it's really hard for me to get up in the morning, and I don't want to get up.
Right.
And then, like now, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. and I'm ready to go. You know, I can't figure it out.
Is it because the sun comes up earlier?
No, where I live in where my bedroom is, there's no outside lighting.
Oh, okay.
So I can make it pitch dark. So that wouldn't be affecting me.
I find that I'm getting older, Bree, that I'm sleeping less. And I have this CPAP machine that tells me how long I slept. So in the morning I look and I say, geez, I really only slept for 2 hours.
How does it know? How does it record your sleep?
It's a smart one, and what it does is it figures out based on the breathing. And
so you're wearing it, or
you wear it over your nose.
If I ever have to use a CPAP machine, please
strange.
kill me.
Well, what it does is it forces air into your throat, and so it keeps your throat open.
Yeah.
And
this
and
is
you're
really
not gasping.
this is really interesting.
Okay.
CPAP.
By the way, we're losing audience like crazy because we're talking about the theater and we're talking about CPAP machines.
What did we talk about that gets people? I forgot. Boners and farts?
Boners and farts get the numbers to go up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see.
And
porn.
Well, not so much that, but like, I don't know.
Technical issues that when you have problems, that gets people.
If this were all break down and I have to fix it and I can't figure out what's wrong, all of a sudden people will start watching.
Well, let's do that.
Also, one of the reasons we don't have a lot of people watching tonight is, guess what? Memorial Day weekend. See?
Yeah.
Your
Not here.
listeners
We
and
don't have that here.
I know you don't have that there.
Where are you?
He's in Dubai.
It's wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the funny part about Skype, or the unfunny part about it, is that if it's Renee or it's you, Ray, or it's Bree, it doesn't matter where they're calling from. It all looks like they're next door.
Oh, it's amazing.
You know, I mean, it's amazing. Look at Bree. He's there. He's in Dubai. I can't even find Dubai on a fucking map. You know,
It's next to Mumbai.
No, Mumbai is
Mumbai is India.
I'll be in India next month.
Mumbai.
Actually, 2 weeks.
Mumbai used to be Bombay, didn't it?
Yeah.
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 I like Bombay better.
Yeah, but the guys, when you talk to them on the phone and you're looking for help, they don't want you to know where they're at. So they made a decision.
I am in St. Louis.
My name is Johnny Five.
So let me ask you, Bree, since we got you now, anybody talking about what's going on here in the United States and what's going on with our president and?
No, it doesn't really get discussed much here at all.
It doesn't affect you.
The only thing that we hear about is they like the fact that he's being tough on Iran again, because the policy here, the UAE and Saudi Arabia are very close, and they have a couple. Yeah, they have situations where they think Iran is meddling, so they feel that if he's tougher on Iran, this will be a good thing. So that's mainly what we hear. Anything to deal with the Iranian deal, we do hear about that.
But how do they feel about the fact that without an Iranian deal, they might go back to building nuclear devices again?
They're not going to let them do it.
Well, no, who's not going to let them do it?
They're not going to let them do that.
But who's not going to let them do it?
The Israelis.
What are they going to do? They're going to bomb them? Because, okay, now my question is, doesn't Iran have the right to defend themselves? And don't they have the right to have the same kind of defenses that is Israel, who is their prime enemy, has? No.
I generally tend to agree with
I
guys, but you know, Iran has in some ways shown in some times that they're not able to sort of go with the international flow, you know, and they create oppositional situations that others would prefer that they don't. So this is the thinking on that.
Well, on the other hand, though, you had a prime minister there who pretty much was for the deal, promoted the deal, and went along with the deal. And now that this is all happening, his job is in jeopardy. And he was the one person who had some real common sense there. You know, the Ayatollah has basically, his common sense is basically a dogmatic religious zealousness. Yeah. But the prime minister there was, he was copacetic. And that's why we got the deal in the first place. But now that it's falling apart, people are saying he should drop out. We should get a more hardliner in there. And that could that's what makes the situation so dangerous by getting out of there.
What I hear is that the people who live there, most of them, don't support the aggressive tactics of the mullahs and the Ayatollah.
And where do you hear that?
Well, I hear it on the news.
Where? Oh, really? Well, that same news you don't believe?
There's certainly a faction.
Yeah.
You know. So I guess the difficulty is determining what percentage, is thinking what, and how do you pull that, and then how do you act on that? So it's difficult.
There's let me mention. There's also, Phil, a very large part of the population of Israel who doesn't like what Netanyahu is doing in his philosophy, and would like to get him out of office. So anywhere you go, you're going to have an opposition.
Yeah, I think that large part of Israel that has that opposition is called the Palestinians.
No, you're wrong, Phil. It's young people. People who don't feel that Netanyahu's ideas are good ideas or safe ideas for Israel.
Well, it's you think that it's safe to do nothing.
No, that's not what they're saying. They're just saying they feel his approach is a bad approach.
Well, they've used different approaches with in the Palestinian question for the last 70 years, and it hasn't gotten them anywhere.
Give the
sometimes it's bulldozers, sometimes it's rockets, sometimes it's sniping.
Yeah, give the Palestinians a homeland that they can call their own, and I think they'll
give them Jordan.
Quiet down. But I mean, they got their land stolen from them originally, and they have, and that resentment has remained ever since.
I think they are being used as pawns.
No, they're not being used as pawns.
By whom?
These are people who were forced into the desert, kids who were raised starving and have a hatred for the Jewish state because of the way they felt their lives were handled by that Jewish state.
That hatred existed long before the Jewish state.
No, it did not. No, it did not.
Read that book, Hitler's Mufti.
Good. You can go read any fucking book you want to that lives up to what your fucking fucked up beliefs are. But wait a minute. But hold on. The fact was, the Arabs got the Islamic people and the Jews for years got along beautifully. In fact, there were the Jews in that part of the country, in that part of the world, almost didn't consider themselves Jews. They had another term for themselves, and they got along fine until until this whole what's his name.
I think you're not aware of.
I'm aware of every inch of that situation, Phil. I'm much more aware of it. And much more reading on it than you ever have.
Yeah.
Yes, Ray.
I mean, could you imagine living in an area and then all of a sudden the Western world decides, okay, we're going to carve a country out of this whole area, and you're going to be second-class citizens, and now all these white people from Europe are going to move in,
Yeah,
and you have
States.
What?
It's called the United States, and the
now you're just diverting. Well, yeah, that sucks
you're
too,
diverting. You're diverting the discussion, Phil. Stick to the discussion.
Because I just said something
so
truthful.
It's so terrible that the Jews from that were displaced from around the world went to Palestine, and formed a country, and that in the United States.
And why did they go to Palestine, Phil? Why did they go to Palestine?
Because nobody else wanted them.
No, why did they choose Palestine? Why didn't they choose Brooklyn? Come on, why did they choose Palestine, Phil?
They weren't being let into Brooklyn.
No. That's not the point. I said, why Palestine?
Because that's where they were sent.
That wasn't where they were sent, Phil. They got in boats and went there on their own. Why did they go to Palestine?
400 people, and they had the movie Exodus.
No, now you're diverting again, discussing and answering the question with a joke, with a fucking joke.
That they, on their own, got on a boat and went to Palestine. And I'm saying, yes.
No, because you had a guy created a thing called the Zionist movement, and the Zionist philosophy was back to Israel, back to Palestine. Palestine is our homeland, and that's the reason they went there. Up until Theodor Herzl was his name, created Zionism, there wasn't even that notion. They always considered themselves Europeans.
Yeah.
Well, the Jews were citizens of the world. They've been thrown out of every country that they've ever lived in. Why did they become doctors and lawyers and merchants? Because they could, and with diamond merchants, for instance, because they could take jewelry and they could jewelry, and they could take their knowledge and they could live anywhere in the world, because they knew, even in Europe, they weren't allowed to own land. That's why Jews don't have family crests.
Really?
Yeah.
All I was saying, Phil, was that from the point of view of the Palestinians, everything's copacetic, and then all of a sudden, you have all these people moving in, creating a country, and pushing them out of where they live. That would be hard. That would be hard for anybody to live with, I would think.
No.
I
could say shit happens, but that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Okay,
but that wasn't a cookie crumbling, Phil. That was a determination by the United Nations of what should happen to the Palestinian people. What they wanted to do was to get the fucking Jews off their back. That's what they wanted to do. So they came up with
the Israelis.
I didn't say it was the fault of the Israelis. I was just saying, all I was saying was look at it from the point of view of the Palestinians.
Yes, you get displaced. What the fuck do you expect, Phil?
Hey.
By the way, hello to Charlene.
You don't like whataboutisms, but I'm saying it happened in this country, and it happened.
Of course, it is awful.
Countries.
What happened in this country?
The people from Europe came over to this country, displaced the American Indians, and treated them as second-class citizens.
And we still are. And the ones that still are holding on to their Native American status live on horrible reservations. You would not believe. I've been to the Navajo reservation 3 times. It's like a third world country in the middle of this country. People don't even know it's there.
By the way,
it's incredible. No, I'm talking about, like, Navajo Nation is huge. People live in metal dirt shacks with dirt floors, and you'd think you were in the worst part of Mexico.
By the way, first of all, what are you showing us there, Bree? You're showing us
nice new high-rise.
Some of the high-rises.
Apartment building.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Totally looks like it's out of a science fiction.
Oh yeah, all your stuff in Dubai looks like it's out of a science fiction movie. Hello to Vernon Nunn. Vernon, turn your camera on.
I'm attempting to.
Okay.
Alex, I was going to say, when you had commented on the desert sands in that photograph that you saw, it's because the desert sands, there are some things you need in photography, and one of them is pattern. And you get an enormous amount of pattern from the sands and from what happens in the wind.
Yeah,
you need structure.
These are actual videos, and what amazed me was the building we were talking about, the Khalifa or whatever, the Burj Khalifa. What was amazing about it was is the lighting on it, which just the lights are going everywhere, flashing.
Did you see the lighting on the picture of the building that we just saw from Dubai that Bree showed us?
I've seen that building in that video.
He showed it without the lights on, and then another shot with the lights on. It looked like green glass.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Hello, Vernon. You're spinning around. We got a problem there? Vernon? Can you hear us, Vernon?
I'm still getting used to the Skype on the phone here.
Oh, you're using a phone. I see. That's why it's spinning around. It's not.
I've done this before. I'm just not sure how to turn the camera on.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's whirling around like it's looking for the camera. So, you know. But,
Alex?
Yes.
Off and then turn it on again.
Yes, Charlene.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I just want to say, I have always depended upon the kindness of strangers.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Little Tennessee Williams.
Little Tennessee Williams.
I think you're right that he was Blanche Dubois, right?
Yeah, he was Blanche Dubois.
Della.
Yeah. Let me see here. Vernon Nunn shared a photo. I didn't see a photo, but I'll assume that he shared a photo.
You have to probably look at that thing on the right.
Yeah. Well, he's using his phone, so, you know.
Yeah, but it's a snapshot, he said.
It's us.
Of our screen.
Yeah, it's our screen.
Oh, is that what that is? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's a screenshot of us.
Really? I don't... really? Let me see.
Oh, my God, my mouth is open. I'm in the middle
I have to go here to...
It's unfair to freeze people in the middle of a sentence, you know. When you take a... You know, because you can catch them in terrible...
Let me see here.
It's like kicking
there
Palestinians
we go. See, folks,
land.
that's what they're talking about.
It's a fun thing to do.
Is that...
Did you know that a lot of Palestinians live in Israel and work there? I mean, a lot, and and do fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that like 20 years ago, but I didn't know that before then. There is a huge Palestinian population in Israel.
Oh, in Israel?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Throw rocks and stab people in the neck.
Well, those are the ones outside. Those are the ones.
Well, they
outside,
try to get,
Well, I think that the solution to the Jewish problem back in 1948 was a clumsy answer, and it was not well thought out. And it was done. And it was done because there was a lot of pressure on the part of the UN to do something because they were at the doorstep. You know, they wanted in, and they felt they had to do something about it. So
well, the big problem now is that a lot of these Zionists, they go and they're occupying these lands, and that's what's really pissing people off.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just taking more and more and more.
They gave up the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula.
I know.
Because
they thought it was crap.
They gave land for peace, and what happened? They were attacked by thousands of rockets from Gaza, and Hamas took Gaza over.
Well, I thought that the Israelis are always expanding. There's a whole group of Israelis that are always occupying new lands.
There is territory that they won in the '67 war that many people still try to settle and create these Israeli settlements.
And that's what antagonizes everyone. No.
It's anything that they do is going to antagonize.
Israel has not tried to get. Israel has not really tried to get along with their neighbors. Okay, and you got a guy, and you got a guy.
Drive them into the Red Sea.
You got Netanyahu's Trump's butt buddy. In there continuing to make trouble. Hello, Vernon. How are you this evening? We can see you. Your picture is beautiful. And welcome to our fine program. Thanks for coming to us on this Memorial Day weekend.
Looks very relaxed.
He looks very relaxed, yes. Yeah.
I am very relaxed in my
is there any way you can turn your microphone down? It's really loud and distorted. It's distorted.
Is that better?
Oh, much better, much better. Yeah, before
And we're looking up at you, so you look very kingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could move the.
No, oh, now you're not kingly
but
anymore.
now you're not kingly any longer.
It's a man.
But now my arms will get tired holding the phone up.
No, go back
Yeah.
to kingly. It's
Yeah.
like, you look like Lear, like King Lear. There you go.
Yeah, you need a selfie stick.
But let's face it.
You were talking about Shakespeare a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we ever find out who, what was it, Hamlet's wife, or what was it?
Hamlet's wife? Oh, Hamlet's
Ophelia's girlfriend.
Ophelia.
His main squeeze.
Yeah, the one Get thee to a nunnery.
Yeah.
I've told you already. Get thee to a nunnery.
Yeah.
Didn't Shakespeare make fishing pole?
What?
Didn't he what?
I thought Shakespeare was in the fishing pole business.
You know
Shakespeare
what I mean?
fishing rods.
You know what I got to do? I got to when I next time I talk to Jack, I had lunch with him yesterday. The next time I talk to him, even when I have him here finally to tell us about the rest of his life, he knew Tennessee Williams, and so I should ask him a little bit about that part. I mean, he's also he is the only guy I know who knew intimately both Millers, Arthur and Henry.
Oh wow.
You know, I met Arthur Miller, and I had a 10-minute conversation with him about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was, I'll never forget. He was giving autographs at San Jose State University, and I was the last one in line. They were having a 2-week Arthur Miller celebration, and I was the last one in line, and we shook hands. He signed a copy of A View from the Bridge for me, and it was just him and I in the gym talking about Death of a Salesman, because I got to play Biff, and he was talking about the character, and he was the nicest guy. And
you know,
I always had wondered why Marilyn Monroe had married this nerd. You know,
but he was
those pictures? No, he was not only nice; he's strikingly handsome. Like even when he was 80 years old, he was like, okay, now I get it. And really tall and strong. It was like, okay, those pictures don't do him justice.
Well, yeah, there's a great documentary on him on HBO on Arthur Miller. If you have HBO, go find it. It is just it's called something Arthur Miller, something Miller, and it is just it was a thing that I had always been kind of like I never paid a lot of attention to Arthur Miller. I mean, I knew Death of a Salesman, and I knew The Crucible, and then I watched this documentary, and I really got this appreciation of him like I had never had before.
The documentary called "It's Miller's Time." It's Miller Time.
No.
Oh, Phil, please.
Please, Phil. Enough of these silly jokes. But I think to me The Crucible is singularly great because of the time that it was created and the reason it was created, which is it was a slam against the McCarthy era, against the House Un-American Activities Subcommittee, of which he was called to. Yeah. And he wrote this play which got on Broadway and got performed everywhere and made a point, but nobody realized that it was about exactly that subject, okay? Yeah. Because the Salem witch trials were identical to what was going on with the House Un-American Activities Subcommittee, and not too dissimilar to the Me Too movement going on right now, in which people are accused of things and then they're automatically guilty, whether there's a trial or whether they're even given the benefit of a trial.
We're going to have to hear about this a lot now that Harvey Weinstein has given himself up and everything.
I'm going to make a prediction, at least on these particular instances.
Skates.
He's going to skate. Yeah.
Oh, you think?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I think because I know what their defense is going to be. They've already pretty much stated it. And the defense is going to be the casting couch was a regular thing in Hollywood. It was a way of doing business. And these women knew that. And these women wanted a part from Harvey, so they blew him. Okay?
They were willing participants.
Willing participants. Because he, now I would agree with anybody who would say he was using his power to get laid. Please don't write me and tell me that I'm a sexist pig, because I don't think that what Harvey did was right. But this is going to be his defense, and when he puts it parses it in that way, you have to talk about whether it may have been consensual, but the woman felt she had to do it in order to get a part or to get and curry the favor of Harvey Weinstein. That in of itself is wrong to use that kind of power. But the fact that she submitted to it, if they can just prove that she didn't, he didn't hold her down and she put up a fight, then I think he may skate on that whole thing.
And so then rape would be the wrong word then.
Then rape would be the wrong word. They haven't accused him of, I don't think the term used in the indictment was rape.
A rape and forceful oral copulation.
No, was it rape or was it forceful whatever?
It was
the newspaper said rape.
There's two different women.
Wait a minute.
One, 2003.
I have it here. I have it here from the script I wrote today for my news.
You know what I was thinking?
Wait a minute.
There was some rehash Michael Jackson thing on that I DVR'd, and I said, my God, don't take it the wrong way. Like, I guess it's a good thing Michael's dead, right? Because don't you think they might rehash all of that the way they're trying to rehash Woody Allen?
One of these is Lucia Evans, who told investigators that he forced her to perform oral sex on him in 2004, and they say that he was going to be charged with assaulting her. So how does that differ from rape? Assaulting, if you say
no, there's
assaulting.
Another woman. 2011.
There's another woman too. Yes.
Yeah, and the other woman is alleging rape.
Now, mind you, folks, don't go writing me or getting pissed off at me. I'm not saying that I think that whatever Harvey Weinstein did, it was okay. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It was terrible behavior. It was terrible behavior that casting couch ever existed in Hollywood, all the way back to
Joan Crawford,
Louis B. Mayer. Used the casting couch like crazy. But that he is going to use that as his defense, and it probably is a defense that will work.
Yeah, I just bought a casting couch. It doubles as a sofa bed.
Oh, Phil.
I did too. It's right here. Check it out.
Yeah.
His jokes are so bad, though, Phil.
Well, nobody.
My wife hates it though when I bring.
Well, when were Phil's jokes ever good? Okay, so
hey, I get a smile once in a while.
But I just think he may wind up skating on this. He's got the money for the lawyers, and he's got the best lawyers in the business. And if they got to be very careful. They can't go into a courtroom with a jury and start saying, "Well."
Now Rose McGowan, was she attacked or assaulted or?
I think so. Yeah, Rose McGowan also appears to me to be slightly crazy.
She's riding some kind of a Stormy Daniels kind of train now too. She wrote a book, and she's
there's just something about Rose McGowan that just seems a little off. That doesn't mean that she deserves to get raped or anything else, but I don't know that I would believe her as much as I would believe several of the other women. Okay, who don't appear to be
Rose
crazy.
McGowan was married to Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I think Weinstein.
Now Weinstein had an unfortunate factor in his relationships in that anybody who would have sex with Harvey Weinstein was allowing themselves to be abused just by fucking Harvey Weinstein. I mean, the definition of abuse has got to be Harvey Weinstein having sex with anybody, even if it was consensual, it was abuse.
Right, he's so gross.
Marilyn Manson was on that TV show Californication, and I really enjoyed the part that he played. He played himself.
Good. Thank you for the TV review.
It's all an act.
Yeah.
Ray.
It is an act.
Yes. Wait a minute. Hold on, Phil. Somebody else wants to talk. Chris.
Well, I was just wondering. I know in acting classes, an acting teacher, a good one, will try to strip you down and break you down, and they might give you a kissing scene with someone that you would never kiss in real life.
Right.
Ray, have you ever it's almost like they target the one person that they think you would least be able to be open with, and has that ever happened with you? It almost like it leads you to strip away your sexuality to a very
and I'm glad they did it actually, because once I was in a musical where my love interest, it was a comedy, she sweated like a pig every night. Like I had to kiss. I'd go up to kiss her, and all I would see was his face just full of thousands of droplets of sweat. And I'd kiss her, and it was just like salt flavor. And it was the most disgusting. And I had to do this like 5 days a week. And, oh my God. Thank God for acting class.
And if you like them, you mint. And if you don't like them, it's garlic. And
yeah.
But it seems like it gets to a point where anyone could kiss Harvey Weinstein because it's not that big a break from the acting class.
It helps you with your acting, yeah.
Yeah, you can go to the zone.
It certainly would amount to me, any sexual act with Harvey, consensual or not, would be sexual abuse. You know, I mean, he's such a disgusting, vile-looking man. Now, here is my question.
He lost weight.
No, I saw him in.
I saw him in that.
He looked thinner.
No, he didn't.
Depressed.
No, you must have not seen pictures of him before. He just as fat.
Before, he was really fat.
He can barely walk. I saw him at 7 o'clock. He did the perp walk or whatever that is.
Yeah. And why do they handcuff a guy like Harvey Weinstein? Is he really going to go run?
He might grope someone.
Well, I know it's the procedure, but what it is meant to do is to embarrass somebody and to make them look guilty.
It's the procedure, and you can't do it to one suspect or one person and not the other. You know, and some people are dangerous. So what they do is they have a system, and they cuff them. When they're taking them downtown.
You know,
someday we might get to see Trump in handcuffs.
I doubt
it. Oh, that would be awesome.
I think we missed our chance. If he hadn't become president, he probably would have wound up in handcuffs.
Yeah, it's going to be like maybe what you said about Harvey. Somehow he'll skate through everything, right?
Yeah, but I just think that to begin with, it's a terrible time for him to have to go on trial. Same thing it was the difference between when Cosby had his first trial and it was a hung jury, and then they held another trial and they found him guilty. What was the difference between the two trials? They took place in a different period of time. One was pre-Me Too, and one was post-Me Too. And basically, they finally got Cosby because juries had been
thought it was because, Alex, I thought it was because they allowed other witnesses, even though they weren't able to prosecute on those witnesses because of the length of time. But this new judge allowed testimony from other women.
Yeah, I know, and that was the difference too. The question is, are they going to allow that in this particular case?
Because there's only two women so far, right?
No, are they going to allow other women to testify to show a pattern of abuse?
There's precedent for it now because of the Cosby case.
No, there's only a precedent in Pennsylvania where that trial took place, not in New York. Okay. Yes, Ray.
I think that once Trump fires Giuliani, that Weinstein should definitely hire Giuliani.
Really?
I'm saying a ridiculous statement. No, I don't think he should.
Ray.
I heard Cohen is available and he's looking for clients.
Yeah.
Or Cohen.
Ray brought up Giuliani. Have you seen how bizarre and strange looking he looks lately like now?
And
he gains a lot of weight. He's bizarre. They take these pictures where his eyes.
Yeah, I wonder when the first he molested me claim is going to come on Giuliani.
I heard he's plastered most of the time.
Yeah. His wife's leaving him, right? Donna Hanover? No, she left him already. It's another one, right?
Donna Hanover was divorced by him while he was going out with this new woman.
In the other, in the spare room.
I love how these Republicans who yell and scream about morality and all of that are some of the most immoral human beings alive. They have no respect.
To all the left-wing liberals that are getting wrapped up in the Me Too thing. You know, I don't think it matters what side.
Am I a liberal, Phil? Am I a liberal, Phil? Am I a lefty?
Yeah, you're a lefty.
Okay. Am I for the Me Too movement, or do I feel it's like a witch hunt?
What I'm saying is, the people that are getting pulled into this, many of them are lefties. Now, whether you support it or not, I'm not saying that you do. You know, I know you don't, and I know you don't think it's fair. But on the other hand,
I just don't think it's legal. I mean, I think that a person has a right to be tried before you find him guilty and take away his life's work.
I said that as well when this first started happening. But I also say the same thing about Trump, and that he's being crucified in the court.
He says it's a witch hunt. Trump says, right?
Yeah.
That he's not.
Well, what do you think, Phil? Here's a guy who always says, "I have proof that the FBI was spying on my campaign, and by the way, I'm going to invite people in to see that proof." Well, they went in and saw the proof today, and you know what they said when they came out?
No,
there was no proof.
Well, it seems as though why didn't the FBI want to turn over the documents that the Congress has been asking to see? And this is where the proof was, and it has either been items have been redacted.
Phil, your boy Trump said he had proof that the FBI was spying on him. Come into my office. I will show you confidential documents that will prove me right. He brought people in, both Republicans and Democrats, and they walked out saying, we didn't see anything that proved it.
Well, I can't, I can't say for them one way or another. Trump says he's got proof. I tend to believe him.
Oh, you tend to believe him in spite of the fact that people actually got to see the proof?
Yeah, because
and some of them were Republicans. Said
not everything was released. They haven't turned over the documents that that Congress is asking for.
But this is a man who lies all the time. Why would you believe him?
People cry wolf, and one day they're right, and the wolf is actually coming.
He's a serial liar.
He's constantly lying.
Yeah. Now, I don't interpret what he says that way. I interpret it in a different way. I see him making jokes.
That's because you're a fucking moron. That's why.
Yeah. Well, look at Pelosi. Pelosi said,
"What aboutism? What aboutism? What aboutism?
No,
what about Pelosi? What about Pelosi?"
Trump.
I'll get to you. I see you, Vernon. I'll get to you. Yeah. What?
Trump talks about MS-13, calls them animals, and then Pelosi takes it out of context.
Well, wait a minute. Who on this program mentioned that story and didn't take it out of context, but said he was probably referring to MS-13?
It was Vernon.
No, it was me.
I know.
It was me. So, I mean, I said it's a little dishonest to say that he was calling all Mexicans animals. He was calling the MS-13 people animals. But
Schumer, Pelosi, and a lot of the news media jumped on that. And, they try to make him into a liar. They do anything they can do to discredit him.
MS-13, by the way, is such an insignificant factor in immigration that for him to single this out, it's like saying, hey, there's a cat outside the mouse hole when there isn't.
My computer at work is on MS-10.
Yeah, I know. By the way, Tony was trying to call. Tony, you should know better than trying to call on. I see what it is. He's got a new computer or something. I can't. Okay, let me hang up on him, and then let me call him back. Hold on, guys. Add to contacts. Send him.
That might happen to me someday. I have a laptop that has a newer one.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Yeah, that happened to me when I had to reinstall Windows.
That's a new iOS. That's a new iOS, like coming in.
Let me see here. Hold
on 13.
a second. I'm trying to call Tony.
iOS.
Yeah, that whole State of the Union thing where he was making a big deal out of MS-13 and all these. It made it sound like MS-13 people were like running into the border.
Big deal. It was a news reporter that asked him a question about it.
He talked about it all night. What are you talking about? He mentioned it over and over and over again. I saw it.
I heard somewhere.
News.
I heard somewhere that the Republicans are very afraid of Latinos and the Latino vote, and that could be why there's this immigration crap going on now with the Republicans, because they think this is sort of like a way to keep Latinos from voting and all that stuff, because they think they're going to vote Democratic, and there's You know, they have so many babies and children that, you know, so they're trying to like get rid of anybody that's Hispanic, like, or something, you know.
Why wouldn't it help encourage them to vote against him? I don't understand that.
Against who?
Against Trump. Why wouldn't his actions encourage Latinos to come out and vote against
him? It's gonna, you know.
That's what she's saying, is that she says
but
that
it's a whole plan. It's a whole plan they have to change the immigration laws and everything, like, because they don't want Latinos voting at all, really. You know,
I think they want to.
By the way, Tony,
wouldn't be citizens.
Hold on a second, Tony, you moron. I just started dialing you so you could join the group, and you're not answering your computer.
His mother fell down. He has to pick her up.
I blocked Tony. And then I unblock him on the weekends so he doesn't make me nuts.
Well, see, I mean, like, what I've done is, you can see, I'm actually ringing him, and he's not picking up, and yet he tried to get in without asking to be accepted.
Well, maybe he was calling another show and he hit Gabnet by mistake.
That could be removed from this group. Okay, well,
another citizens panel.
Yeah, I don't want to have to spend my whole time trying to get Tony on the show so he can just sit there and not say anything.
That we, like, last year, my neighbors across the street hired the landscapers and all that. So it used to be like, you know, like 5 Mexicans would come last year and everything, right? And they'd be running all over and everything. Now this year, I don't know what happened. Did they change? I see 2 white older men with gray hair. I don't see, you know, so I said, I'm making jokes. I guess the day without a Mexican is happening here in Jersey where I am. Like, either they all left and went home.
Did
ICE get them?
Old white gentlemen with gray hair? That's Ray and me.
You know, they were a little bit more bulky.
And Vernon.
You know?
Yeah, well, he's the backup.
But they were doing a hell of a job, and I was
not
really
older.
impressed, you know. But
older.
They were riding that thing, but I mean, there wasn't anybody Mexican, and I said, "Wow, I wonder what happened." You know, like maybe they're all going home.
Maybe they got better jobs.
Yeah,
right.
They
got even better jobs, right, than landscaping.
Yeah, no, they're IT professionals now.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, silence.
They're going to take Bree's job.
Yeah.
Hey,
is that a sombrero?
Listener.
I want to say that was great the other night when I wanted to say, though, like Alex said he didn't like white people. Renee said, I kind of don't like white people sometimes, too. I was like, yes. I would have loved to have called in that night. I think that's what Patrick said, I think, right? That, you know, he was like going crazy and he's just sat there and had to listen to that. That was really good, though. Like how Renee didn't like white people, and, you know. Then you accused her, Phil, of being a racist or something.
Well, what's his name? Just hates people. What's his name?
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah.
He's gay, but it doesn't matter because he hates everyone. So it doesn't matter, you know, whether or not he's.
I think he said that he had Asperger's, and you know, sometimes that makes it difficult to get along with people. So if you don't get along with them, then
Speaking of that, did you guys bring up? I mean, I've been listening, but maybe I missed something. That guy, you know, the kid that was 30 years old and his parents wanted to throw him out.
Yeah.
You already did that one? Okay.
No, I don't know if we talked about it. But...
Because there's really a lot of points coming out. I heard now he was trying to sue Best Buy because they try to make him work overtime.
Oh.
He thought it was a waste of his time or something. It's just trying to show you, like, I have a son that's a millennial. They are bizarre, these millennials. Like, they don't want to leave the house. Like, I have a son that he's on that thing that you talk about, Thrasher, or what is it called? Twitch. He's on that. And I think he's playing other guys' video games, and they pay him, and it's like he's got a job, you know? Is that correct?
Yeah, Twitch.
Or whatever that thing is. Yeah,
you can get paid on Twitch if you have enough people watching you play the game.
Oh, so that's what he's doing. Thank you. Because, you know, I can't get him to go out and get, like, a job where he leaves the house and all that, you know? So I'm watching this. I'm making jokes.
One of those.
I don't think there's a precedent on that, right? That I could throw him out like those people.
You know,
looks like George Costanza.
There's a thing where these people playing the games, and when they're losing or they're having a bad day, they do something called swatting, where they call the police and they send them.
You get paid on Twitch if you have enough people watching you play the game. Why do I hear myself all of a sudden?
No, that's
I can't get into it.
Oh, I know what it is. It's Jack. Jack's got his.
Jack, your volume's up.
That's give me, it's an old brain, and it has not been working at its best today.
Come on, Jack. Get it in gear.
Hey, look, it's a 6-cylinder world. I've got a 2-cylinder brain.
All right.
Just mix oil with it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about what you guys were talking about the Republicans and the Hispanic vote. I would refer you back to what Lyndon Johnson said.
You don't refer. Wait a minute. You don't refer back. You refer to, because you can't refer back, because that's like saying you back.
Don't be so newbie.
Listen. He's the parliamentarian. And it's his show. He can.
And he pays $20 a month for a phone number that he doesn't need.
Yeah,
that's right.
But we love him anyway. Lyndon Johnson said, after the signing of the Civil Rights Bill of, 64, I think, 65?
64.
Johnson said the Democratic Party had lost the South for a generation. And it's going into the second generation in some parts of the South. But the same thing is true with the Republicans when it comes to the Hispanic vote. Because of the things they have done and the fact that they have offered these people nothing that they wanted. It's yes?
Didn't they have the Hispanic vote at one time?
Yes, and they threw it away. They threw it away trying to get suburban and central United States white male voters who felt suppressed and oppressed. And at one time, the Republicans had the black vote, and the same thing happened. They just didn't deliver on the goods of the things that we wanted.
That was in Lincoln's time?
Oh, hell no. That went into
Lincoln's had the black vote?
That went into the 20th century up until just before Mr. Roosevelt, the second one. Franklin was elected. And the black community saw him at least trying to change some things that had not been changed.
Well, it would make sense that the Republicans had the black vote since Lincoln, freed the slaves. So I'm sure that's one of the reasons they got them right away.
Yes. Yeah, one of the reasons they lost them was the New Deal.
Get the vote.
Yeah.
When did the blacks get the vote? It was
1866, 67. It was codified.
Oh, so it was very close to the end of.
But then they brought in Jim Crow, so that
don't confuse the two.
By the way, I just want to say that I thought that Trump was racist, but I've given up that notion now that he's pardoned Jack Johnson.
Oh yeah, right. Because Stallone.
How many black people since have been arrested, jailed for exactly the same thing over the years, and I don't see him going around giving a mass pardon to them.
And Jack Johnson's dead. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't have a right hook,
dead
though.
for a long time. Yeah.
You know who spent time in jail for taking a white woman across state lines? Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, that's right.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Why don't you pardon Chuck Berry, you moron?
Chuck Berry, Sweet Little 16.
Oh.
Johnny Be Good. Yeah, that's what he went to jail for.
And they got to pardon him for taking pictures of ladies in the toilet of his restaurant or
bar
or whatever, right?
Yeah. And he got to pardon R. Kelly for everything.
And who wrote the best line that I ever heard in rock and roll that is only can be heard on a second version of Sweet Little 16, which was, "She must be bad because good things don't draw crowds."
Yeah.
But no, Chuck Berry, good, very good example. Come on, Trump, Chuck Berry, a little posthumous pardon for him.
He awarded a Medal of Honor this week, and supposedly there was some controversy around the guy that got the Medal of Honor. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know the story on that, but last night, didn't you have the story about some guy who stopped some stopped a A guy from shooting
the taser,
people.
The basketball kid got tased. No, that's another one.
Last night, he said that he had a gun, and so he was able to save these people or whatever.
Oh, yeah. In Oklahoma, there was a shooting.
Where?
And, pardon me?
Was this at a school?
It was at a restaurant.
Huh?
It was a restaurant.
Restaurant.
At a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
It was called Louis, and I think there was 100 people in the restaurant. And this guy goes in, starts shooting it up. And now there's some controversy.
Because there was another story today. There was another story about a guy today who was a hero who there was a shooter that went into a school. He didn't have a gun, but he literally put himself between the shooter and the kids.
Wow.
There was another story also about a school. They had a lockdown because somebody said a kid had a gun. And, of course, as kids will do today, they started texting. The next thing, some of the parents heard about it, so they went up to the school with AK-47s.
Oh, my God.
In Texas?
No. It was, I want to say, Pocatello, Idaho.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is sort of Texas suburb north.
You know, I was watching a program, and they said that the schools, that they don't have these mass shootings in the inner city schools because the inner city schools are...
Oh, no, they have metal detectors. And
they have metal
really,
detectors.
Yeah.
They're like smart.
But that's not that is not the principal reason you do not have mass shootings in inner city schools.
Well, what is the reason?
White folks don't get it. Black people, we don't necessarily, usually, except for maybe one or two exceptions that I've read about, we don't usually get pissed off at a big group of people. We get pissed off at people who have pissed us off personally.
Hey, right outside of Toronto, I think it was yesterday, somebody used a homemade bomb, and it was either 15 injured or killed. But so, you know, they'll use a bomb. We were talking about you know, that there are different ways people can get in their car and mow down a group of people.
We're running out of time here, and some people haven't really talked much. Do you have anything you want to add to any of this, Chris, or Vernon, or our good friend
I was
Bree?
wondering how one goes to Jack's website, or how do they see his show? Because Gabnet doesn't seem to loop right into it.
Yes, it does. You go over to gabnet.net, and up at the top of the page, there's a thing that says, tune here for our 24/7 stream.
Okay.
And it will
see it.
You're not going to be able to see it because he doesn't do video.
Right.
He doesn't do video.
You're talking about doing video just as soon as I get the facelift.
Okay.
Yeah, right. And as soon as he knows how to do it, which will take us the better part of, well, he'll be dead long before we can teach him how to do it.
Fuck you.
You could just put a bag over your head, Jack, with some eye holes.
Hey, that's not. Oh, wait a minute.
The unknown talk show host.
That might put me in another political organization.
Well, just make sure it's not pointy.
Top.
Hey, you know something? I should really start running the theme here. What the hell? Let me see here. Where's the theme? Oh, there we go. It's going the way of all flesh there, the theme. You know something? Been fun, been nice. I didn't expect we'd get this many people on Memorial Day weekend, but look at us. We just got rid of Jack because he's got to go do the show right after us, which is The Intersection with Amy Manuel. And that's followed at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern Daylight Time by Connections. Hey, listen, Ray, thank you.
You're welcome.
Always great to have you here. And we love having you on, Chris. And have a good time at Big Bear.
Thank you.
And call us again really soon. Like the next. How long are you going to be in Big Bear?
2 weeks. I called to talk about World War II, but we went into Shakespeare and Mehmet. So
okay, so do me a favor. We're back on Tuesday. Give us a call again, okay?
Jesus.
Okay, so we can talk about it. Yes, Charlene, thank you. Phil, thank you very much. Look at what Bree's doing. Who is that? Is that your fearless leader in Dubai?
One of the founders of the country.
One of the founders of the country. And there's Vernon. And he isn't anywhere near his Morse code stuff, so he's just very quiet with that.
Alex, can you post your interview with Shakespeare?
Yes, I will.
Right.
Yeah. But I only have it on a stone tablet, so I don't know if...
All right.
Everybody wave goodbye, will you? It's time to say goodnight, folks. There we go. There goes our audience and our citizen panel for tonight. And let me just hang up on him here so that I can say goodbye to them. Yes, and so they can say goodbye to each other. Righty, I think that does it for us. Yeah, that's it. Hey, listen, we'll be back again on Tuesday, right after the exchange with Damian Chaplin at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, that took a lot. In the meantime, if you see her, you know what? Yeah. Tell her I love her, okay? Bye, everybody.